Your opponent had no term of office because his election had been annulled. So you can't complete his term of office. So you are going to start your own 4-year tenure the moment you take your oath of office.
Peter Obi to wait for 6 months to become the president of Nigeria. Tinubu, Shetima, and APC to know their fate on the 26th of May if they will be inaugurated. We will expose INEC, no hiding place. Lawyers. Welcome to Politics on the Wheel. I'm going to try as much as possible to make this video so short, so stay with me to enjoy all the packages I'm bringing to you this morning. The inauguration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is scheduled for 29th of May according to the Nigerian Constitution, may not go as planned, as court has fixed 26th of May as to deliver the judgment of if Bola Ahmed Tinubu of APC will be sworn in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We already know that the election was conducted on the 23rd of February, of which INEC declared Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner, of which many Nigerians and political parties did not agree with. The election result has been contended with at the Court of Appeal, sitting in Abuja, and there have been a petition, filed to the Federal High Court all the way to the Supreme Court, and the court has fixed 26th of May to deliver its judgment.
30 days does not apply because the matter was decided on the merit at the High Court, the Court of Appeal. So we are not going back there. This court will determine it on the merit, whether there was double nomination and also whether we have local standard. They have done it before. They did it in the case of Uche Nwosu and APP, so they'll do it again. Exactly on all fours.
So now that you have seen that, it is now obvious to everybody that 29th of May is actually the inauguration day for anybody who wins the presidential election, state governorship election. In fact, the House of Rep, everybody, 29th of May is when they all will be swearing. They will be swearing in across Nigeria. But in this particular election that is being contested, there have been a lot of shenanigans here and there, and the political parties from the opposition side have filed their own petition to the court, of which the hearing began sometimes last month, and the retrial, as I earlier said in other videos, will commence on the 30th, a day after the inauguration. However, you have seen what the lawyer said. Femi once said that the inauguration cannot be stopped because even in the Constitution, most of these political parties and those politicians who are contending, or those who are calling that the inauguration should not hold, all enjoying the benefits of being in office while still pursuing their own mandates to be, be the president or governor or House of Rep or senators, as the case may be, while they are still in office.
We have engaged in a consistent campaign for far-reaching electoral reforms along the lines suggested, the recommendations of the Waste panel. When President Buhari set up the Ken Namani panel, which also adopted the basic recommendations of the Waste panel.
Yeah.
But to master the political will, to implement these recommendations have always been a problem. Because the people in power want to take advantage of the loopholes in the law, including those who are complaining now.
So we have to wait for 6 months. Again, Femi, we all know him as a respected constitutional lawyer and a human rights activist. We know him for so many of his activities across Nigeria, where he rose up to defend so many citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was on a show on Arise TV, and he made it very clear that the Nigerian Constitution stipulated that it would take you 6 months before the whole court proceedings will be over. So therefore, Peter Obi himself, which we all know the story of how he reclaimed his mandate as the governor of Anambra State back then, where it took him over 30 months to reclaim his mandate. And the Fanala is saying here today that
Section 285 of the Constitution, election petitions shall be heard by our courts and determined within a period of 180 days. That's 6 months.
That is on the tribunal level.
Yes.
Yeah, the presidential.
Also, at the Court of Appeal level.
Right. So that's another 6 months.
No. For the presidential election,
right,
it starts at the Court of Appeal. And then you have an option to go to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
So if you have 180 days in the Court of Appeal, you have additional 2 months, 60 days in the Supreme Court.
Right.
In the case of governorship, which is the only one that allows for 3 stages.
Yeah.
You go to the election petition tribunal for 180 days, Court of Appeal for 60 days, Supreme Court for 60 days. That's keeping the governor in office for 10 months.
Yeah.
While his opponent or his opponents are fighting the legitimacy of his election. So this is the position. In fact, there's a provision of the Electoral Act, I think Section 120, which provides that. Even if the tribunal or the Court of Appeal this time around says the man who has been declared the winner of the election has not been properly elected, he has 21 days to appeal. Again,
and he still remains in office, right?
Once the appeal is filed within 21 days.
Right.
So that is the law now.
You see, he may have to wait for 6 months if he is able to get all his evidence, before the judges, and then the judgment is being passed. So we are going to see a long run of litigation all the way maybe to the end of this year. So maybe we may be having Peter Obi as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria if he wins the case from the tribunal down to the Supreme Court. And there was this thing that they talked about. When you look at the countries like Kenya and other part of the smaller country in Africa, you discover that their cases, especially that of the presidential election, is not something that you sit at the appeal court or in any way. They have something that they call the constitutional courts, and some of them, they have I have to go straight to the Supreme Court. So Falana was also suggesting that
in other African countries, and this is very sad for us, in 2017, the Supreme Court of Kenya decided the presidential election petition, within 14 days. And I drew the attention of Nigerians to that development. I wrote a piece, which was widely circulated in the media, entitled Electoral Justice in Kenya and Nigeria. And I drew the attention of my colleagues particularly to the need for us to ask for an amendment of the Constitution. Because in other African countries, even Ghana here, the challenge of the presidential election is only taken at the Supreme Court. In Kenya, it's the same thing. You don't begin at the Court of Appeal. 2,
yeah, so it goes straight to the Supreme Court. Yeah.
In most other African countries, you have constitutional courts. These petitions go to the constitutional court, which these courts have 14 days to conclude the election petitions. At the time, the Constitution provided for 6 months. Nobody thought we're going to have the use of beavers machine. Or
it is good that we have our petition, where we move straight to the Supreme Court, and this matter should be solved within 14 days. When we have such scenario, then we'll not be having a litigation for a very long period of time. Now, some lawyers who file a petition before the courts about this whole election processes, and INEC has been so frustrating their efforts in order to get materials to defend their position at the presidential petition sitting in Abuja. Now, they made it clear that
5 letters we wrote them indicating that we are ready to pay to collect the documents. When I'm coming here some other time, I will bring the letters duly received and endorsed by INEC. Why are they telling lies to say that we couldn't pay? This is very, very, very unfortunate. What of the documents that we have collected? Did we pay for them? Of course we paid for them. And they gave us those ones, but refused to give us others. I give you River State, for example. Now, River State, I understand, has 23 local governments. Election took place on 25th of February. Now, a few days ago, when they gave us 15 results, they are yet to complete the results. Close to 3 months since after the election. You can find out Why are they holding on to those results? Is it not for manipulation? Of course it's for manipulation. When they are done with manipulation, they will not release them. If they have nothing to hide, why not release all the results? Why not release them? Even 1 month after the election. Why is it so difficult for INEC to release results rather than playing one prank or the other? You know, until we get into trial, we are going to expose them. We will certainly expose them. And I assure you this trial will be, the advocacy will be very robust. We will expose them. We will expose them. There's no hiding place. I assure you.
No hiding place for INEC, because INEC has been, refusing them to accept some of those material. And according to the lawyers, they said when the trial starts, they are going to serve them, notice, and they will expose INEC before the whole world. And they may face, sanction and all of that. Could this be that at the end of the day, we may be having the INEC chairman being sentenced to prison, maybe, or INEC officials, maybe? Could it lead to any reform within the Independent National Electoral Commission? Maybe those are the things, those are the thoughts, those are something that people will be thinking that may happen maybe at the end of all this litigation at the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja, maybe down to the Supreme Court. Who knows? Time will only tell. So what is the problem? Why will INEC not give those materials to them? Election has been conducted. Why holding back the materials? Probably they want to manipulate. So therefore, maybe when they are done manipulating those results, then they can release those materials to them. And I believe from what the lawyers have said, it's going to be a long, long day for everybody in Nigeria. Thank you so much for staying this long to watch the whole of this video. And for those who are just visiting our channel for the first time, you can do well to subscribe and click the bell button to get notification each time we post a new video. Thank you very much. Until next time.